would utilize each medication for in the various lines of therapy that we've outlined here. So it would be great if we could start with the first line treatment here. So how you would use product X in terms of percentage relative to the other medications here.
First line therapy?
Yes, as a first line therapy.
I have to give a percentage for every medication.
Say that again?
I have to give a percentage.
A percentage. Oh, yes. So just a percentage. So if you wouldn't use, teriflunomide in first line, then it would be, 0 or something like that. So just, it all needs to equal 100%.
Yes. So as a first line, what means A? What means B?
So first line, I guess that's sort of our nomenclature. That's sort of our terminology. But first line A would just take that as a first line. First line treatment. First line B would be, I guess, for you a second line. So what you would switch immediately to after a first line therapy, and then for second line that would be, I guess, after 2 therapies are given. So sorry for the confusion there, but yeah.
Yeah, because I think it would be better to differentiate first line for high burden disease and low disease activity, but it's okay.
Yeah, so just to clarify again, so what we could do is for 1LA, 1LB, and then second line, that'll be for sort of the lower disease activity patients, and here in HDA, that would be high disease activity. Okay. So we'll go there. So if for low disease activity, definitely. 1L, first line.
I'll give you the zeros there.
Yeah.
For a first line, teriflunomide
would be
natalizumab and alemtuzumab. We wouldn't use that for a first line in a patient whose activity is very low.
Okay.
And dimethyl fumarate will be the 50%.
50%. Okay.
Yeah. Fingolimod probably at 20% and product X at 30%.
Understood. So just to clarify, so dimethyl fumarate 50% in first line, fingolimod 20%, and then product X 30%.
Yes.
Understood. And then, so now in 1LB, so your second line.
If I needed to change the medication.
Exactly. Yes.
And the disease is still low activity.
Yes, that is correct.
I would definitely use a fingolimod in a 20% and product X in an 80%.
Okay. One quick second here. So I think there's a way so that because I know it's quite confusing to just have percentages up there. So can you see if I write perfect. Okay. So let's see. So
product X was
30%, sorry. 30%, that's right. Platforms, so that would be your Avonex, Rebif, Copaxone.
Okay, I didn't.
Sorry. Yeah. No worries. So we can go back to first line then. So
I'm giving you the first line again.
No worries. So now that I can edit, what would be your utilization in first line?
Dimethyl fumarate would be at 50%.
Dimethyl fumarate would be 50%, okay.
Platforms would be at 15%.
15?
Yes.
15. Okay.
Fingolimod would be the other 15.
The other 15? Okay.
And product X will be my 20% left.
20%. Perfect. So that all should, yes. Okay. Perfect. So now if we do the same thing for first line B.
If I had to change the medication.
Yes.
As a first line, probably I would choose fingolimod as a 30%.
Okay.
And product X is at 70%.
70%. Okay. And you wouldn't consider, I think you mentioned before that teriflunomide was
I'm talking I think I can put it in the second line as a second medication. So that's because I don't really understand the difference between A and B.
Okay, yeah. I think so B would be, again, I think failure with a first-line therapy, or if the patient is, I guess intolerant to an injectable. So I guess in any case where they need to progress onto a different therapy, but, and that could be if they fail as well with the first-line medication. So, Yeah, so that's just to clarify. I think second line, we can treat that as, maybe 2 failures or, hopefully that clarifies.
Okay. So I wouldn't use teriflunomide as a medication that, like, because as I told you, most of our patients are very young and most of them want to bear children. So probably we would use that as a more potent medication and as a second line, not because of the adverse effects of the others. If I have these other medications that I can choose from, so probably I wouldn't choose teriflunomide, but fingolimod or product X. So for the second line, just to change the medication if I used another.
Yeah. So, and then just to clarify one more time, sorry for interrupting, but I think we had originally, thought of 1LB as a line of therapy because typically, from our understanding, patients go through 2 platforms. So they'll go through perhaps a Rebif and then maybe a Copaxone in some markets before then advancing to other therapies. So I guess the 1LB was more, that's where the second platform would go. So a Copaxone after failure with Rebif and then advancing to later lines of therapy. So that's, I guess maybe where the confusion is coming. Yeah. But okay. So second line now.
So the second line would be teriflunomide in a 30% basis.
Okay.
Fingolimod would be our second line again in a 30% basis again.
Okay.
And product X definitely the 40% left.
Understood. Okay. Great. So that was in low disease activity as we discussed. So now moving on to high disease activity. So if you had to prescribe, medication for someone who comes to you with a high disease activity, how would you break down the utilization for each of these products?
Natalizumab in 70%.
Okay.
Of our patients.
70% for natalizumab. Okay.
You can put there at 25%.
Okay.
And alemtuzumab, the 5% left.
5% left. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So let's, sorry, because I think I confused you quite a bit here with the terminology. So let's just say that we'll have this be first line, this just be your traditional second line, and this would be, your third line, treatment. So, based on how you, normally treat patients clinically, do you use teriflunomide at all, after failure with a first line therapy like a platform or dimethyl fumarate?
Yeah, we use it as a second line.
Okay, so let's go with, what your prescription pattern is. So let's say, your second line is now failure with a first line therapy. So if we could revisit maybe the second line therapies and the utilization, I'll go ahead and change based on what you say. So product X.
Second line for us will be 20% fingolimod.
Okay, let's 20% fingolimod. Yes.
Yeah, 20% teriflunomide.
20% teriflunomide. Okay.
And a 60% for product X.
60% for product X. Okay, now the patient has with 2 lines of therapy. So if you had to, and I don't know if this happens in clinical practice, but if, a patient has failed now with 2 therapies, what would be your utilization in third line?
If I haven't used natalizumab, it would be natalizumab. In us, like 60%.
Okay. And then any other medication?
Sometimes we haven't used fingolimod yet, so fingolimod would be another option.
Okay.
They're at 10%. And the 30% left for product X. For product X, just teriflunomide wouldn't be a third line therapy for us.
Understood. So I think this all adds up. Yes. So I think this all adds up. Perfect. Great. Well, I guess the last question I had for you, doctor, is if there were 2 or 3 recommendations that you would provide to the manufacturer